Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's video of all touchdowns uploaded on this day on Facebook at this date in touchdown history. As always, you can click the link in the description to follow that page and get the original audio plus better descriptions of what you are about to see. Over the next several minutes, I will be relating what happened in certain touchdowns chosen on this date in history. Milestone anniversaries 1, 5, 10, 25, 20, 30, 40, etc. Did I choose correctly? Or did I choose the wrong touchdowns? We start in 1945, Navy and Michigan. Navy has the ball. They are in the light uniforms. We are at Ann Arbor, Michigan. The ball is snapped, and it's the Statue of Liberty play, and Tony Manisi, number 14, takes the ball, and he's up the left side of the field for 14 yards and a touchdown, giving Navy a 19-3 lead. 1975, Monday Night Football, Roger Staubach is under center for the Dallas Cowboys. He hands off to Preston Pearson, and as Pearson's going down, Kansas City forces a fumble, and it's Big John Matuzak falling on the ball in the end zone for the touchdown to tie the game in the second quarter between the Chiefs and Cowboys. For more update on this game, follow Pigskin Glory. Episode 4 of the podcast, Pigskin Glory, will discuss this game as part of the 10 days between November 1st and November 10th. A link to that can also be found in the description to that page. Tom Landry can't believe what he just saw as Preston Pearson fumbles the ball and the Kansas City defense on Monday Night Football coming up big with a touchdown. We now move to 1985. We're in overtime. The Falcons score 17 points in the fourth quarter to tie the game, but it's Ron Jaworski finding Mike Quick, and he is too quick for the Atlanta defense. He goes 99 yards for the touchdown, and the Eagles win the ball game in overtime in 1985. Now we also have two editors' picks from 85. This one is from John, our Jets fan, and he's a glutton for punishment as he picks the Dolphins-Jets. Tied late in the game, Dan Marino has the ball, and he finds Mark Super Duper running away from the Jets for the game-winning score from 50 yards out. It is the Dolphins over the Jets on John's pick. Now, that was just one of the two editors' picks. John, of course, the Jets fan, likes to see his team suffer, I guess. Don Shula was happy with that touchdown, though, as is the Miami Dolphins. Joe Walton of the Jets, not so happy. Also played in the evening on that night. Let's see how far we go. Showing off Duper now. Dan Marino and Mark Duper exchanging hugs. Game-winning touchdown. Of course, the Jets would get a chance still. That wasn't the last play of the game, but the Dolphins would hold on to win this ball game. Now we move on over to overtime. San Diego and the Los Angeles Raiders. Dan Fouts under center, a power I formation, and coming out of the backside of the power I is Lionel Little Train James, the smallest player in the NFL, scores from 17 out in overtime to give the Chargers a 40-34 victory. And again, as I said, the smallest player in the NFL scoring the game-winning touchdown in a wild game. As Tom Flores walks off the field, his head down, the Raiders fall to the division rival Chargers. Flores looking back, making sure the score is what he saw, and Little Train James is getting carried off the field in San Diego. It's the San Diego Superchargers winning the game as Dan Fouts and company find the plays when they need to, and here's a replay. James off the left side of the power I, and the blocking of the Charger line is just exquisite as James cuts back and goes untouched into the end zone. 17 yards, his second touchdown of the afternoon. This was picked by Chris, who does the yeoman's work for Pigskin Glory, as he puts up a lot of the posts you see and is a member of the podcast team. touchdown, game winner, walk-off. Now we move on to 1995, and it's high school. Down in Georgia, Bowdoin, Decatur. Bowdoin has the ball. The Red Devils, as the handoff goes to Sean Cooley. And Sean Cooley is going to go 39 yards for the touchdown to give the Red Devils, or extend their lead over Decatur. Interesting field pattern. The red lines painted on the field. Now, 2000, Hawaii football, and you're going to have to excuse me as I am going to mispronounce the names. It is Kahuku versus Waianae and Anoki. The touchdown is caught by James Kammerer, 25 yards from Inoki Funaki. I should remember that. Funaki, of course, being one half of the Kaientai tag team in WWF around this time. But Inoki Funaki, the quarterback, heaves the ball skyward in the end zone as this game was being contested for a championship at Aloha Stadium, home of the then, at the time, Pro Bowl. 25 years ago, high school football in Hawaii. Congratulations being given to Kammerer. Now we move on to 2005. It's Boise State, it's Fresno State, and Paul Pinniger has that's Pinniger with a P, has the Bulldogs backed up on his own two. He drops back to pass. He's going to heave it. It's Paul-to-Paul connection. He finds Paul Williams, and Paul Williams breaks free from a Boise State Bronco, beats another one, and he's gone 98 yards. It's Paul Pinniger to Paul Williams for the touchdown. And what a play. Fresno State would go on to defeat Boise State on that night. The Broncos just did not have it. Usually they come to play, but it was a 27-7 game for Fresno State. The flag was on Boise for pass interference. 20 years ago, football in the WAC, Western Athletic Conference, Boise State, Fresno State, 98 yards, the longest touchdown in Fresno State history, beating a previous record that had sat for about 13 years, if I remember correctly in the audio. But again, you can get the audio on Facebook. This is 2015, Toledo, Central Michigan, and that's Kareem Hunt. 41 yards for Kareem Hunt to give the Rockets a 14-0 lead. Hunt, of course, now a Kansas City Chief and one-time Cleveland Brown. Kareem Hunt, 14 yards. 2020, it's the Buffalo Bulls and the Miami Red Hawks of Ohio. And this is quarterback Kyle Van Treese dropping back to pass, heaving a dart to wide receiver Antonio Nunn, and the Red Hawks don't want none as they go 82 yards for a 42-7 lead in the fourth quarter for the Bulls of Buffalo. Kyle Van Treese, a dart to Antonio Nunn, and as I said, the Red Hawks didn't want none. We look at the replay. There are three backs in the backfield with Van Treese, and two men split, and Buffalo still throwing up 35-7. Van Treese fakes the handoff. He's under pressure. He gets hit as he throws. Antonio Nunn just burning the competition, and he's gone. In the year 2020, with no crowd in attendance at UB Stadium in Buffalo, the Bulls score and go up big. They would go on to win 42-10. And speaking of Buffalo, we move on to 2024. A year ago today, Joe Flacco, the quarterback of the Colts, much different Colts team a year ago than today. It's intercepted by Taron Johnson, and he is going to make cuts and head out left. He's going to get a block, and he is going to score. Rasul Douglas with a block that puts Taron Johnson in the end zone from 23 yards out to get the Bills on the board in the first quarter, give them a lead, and Buffalo would go on to defeat Indianapolis that afternoon. Here you see Taron Johnson just heading all the way out left. Joe Flacco did not see Johnson as he was going for Josh Downs. Johnson leapt in the air, intercepted the pass, and that is all the touchdowns that we uploaded on Facebook from November 10th in history. Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. And until tomorrow, I'm Vinnie Vincent, and this touchdown's for you.